Okay, folks, Bob Desmond here, the Contrarian Trader, and we are going to be talking about making money. This week, our 5 top stocks that we like going into the new trading week. EMN, that's Eastman Kodak. TXRH, this is Texas Roadhouse. We spoke about this one last week. Chef's Warehouse, symbol CHEF, new one. Coinbase, COIN, the symbol. We all know that one. And SMG, Scott's Miracle-Gro. Now, Coin and SMG, they were also on our watch list last week. However, we began bull operations on them, but we will review the chart and talk about the whys as to why we still like these names moving forward. Members, I have already put out into the members area the week ahead commentary, which is our strategy session. Also, on all of these names, I have entered the price targets, entry points, and stop points in the watch list area on your dashboard. And in the Slack forum, I have entered the charts showing the stop loss point, entry point, and price targets in the Slack forum. So you can just click on the chart, take a look at the visual representation of where I believe that these stocks are opportunities and where I believe that we should be looking to scale out. And of course, if we're wrong, and that happens, we stop out with a very small loss. So let's begin by saying A, like, subscribe, you know the deal, please. B, today is Sunday. That means tonight is Sunday Night Futures, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us live. Down below, you'll find a link to my 5-part video tutorial on my top 5 favorite candlestick patterns. You will get notified 45 minutes prior to us going live that we are going live. Also, that 5-part video tutorial is free. So let's get to it. Let's begin with the weekly chart. Coinbase. Why do we like this? We still like it because we have a Bollinger Band squeeze set up. The Bollinger Bands are inside the Keltner channels. They are getting tighter with each passing week. Now, you may be saying, it looks like we had a rough week last week. That's okay. That's okay. We didn't go buying as they bid the shares up last week. We wanted to see a better risk-reward entry point, and we found it on Friday. Also, we know that the correlation of Bitcoin to coin is very, very strong. So we always want to know when we're trading Coinbase, what is Bitcoin doing? And Bitcoin weekly time frame is getting ready for a breakout. Therefore, it's safe to assume that Coinbase will follow suit to the upside. So all we're doing here is accumulating. As we know that we're right in our initial decision to open up a position, we add more, we buy in increments. And also when you're talking about these names, you'll note that I have really no technology stocks. Coinbase is really not a technology company. It's a mid-cap in the financial sector, and the mid-caps and small caps are doing well. Whereas the leadership names, such as the triple Qs, are wavering some. We're seeing a change of leadership from the mega caps, Mag 7 names, to the smaller mid-cap, small-cap names. Why? The anticipation of rate cuts beginning in September. So drilling down to a daily time frame, we have higher lows, and now we're looking for a breakout. And once we get that breakout, I'll be sending out an alert that we have added more to our position. And note, we will not be adding more if we pull back. We already did that. We only want to add more on a breakout. If we fail and we break down to new lower lows rather than putting in higher highs, then we're out, small loss. So again, members, the price targets for Coinbase in the members area, in the Slack forum. Next chart up, SMG. Now we like SMG, Scott's Miracle-Gro, due to the fact that it's got a very, very long base being built here. Seasonality is setting up very, very nicely. The month of July begins a series of months, with the exception of September, that are very, very strong. Obviously, June is the worst month out of the year. We're well past that now. And this data goes back to 1992. And if you want this functionality, folks, this is TrendSpider. If you're not using it, you're missing an arrow in your trading quiver, and you're missing an edge, because I'll tell you right now, they are selling a lot of subscriptions. I believe in the product so much, I give it away to our silver and gold level members for free. And there's also a discount code. If you're watching this on YouTube, below, use that link, use our discount code, and get 35% off. If you're watching on Twitter, you'll see a link tree above, and of course the same discount code. So SMG, we are now long of it. Again, coin, TXRH, and SMG. These were on our watch list from last week. We executed on 2 of those trades. TXRH, we'll go to that in a moment. I'll talk to you a bit more. They reported earnings, so that's good. So this chart here, what we did last week is we saw a continuation breakout. And in fact, let's do this. Here is the breakout. We broke out the week before last. Last week we did a retest, and then we got a follow-through week to the upside. That's a screaming buy. And again, we have a multi-month consolidation here, making it very, very attractive. So it looks as though the bear market is in all probability in the rearview mirror. The path of least resistance is now changing from down to consolidation to now up. Now, the other reason why we like Scott's Miracle-Gro, and we'll continue to build our position here, is that when you take a look at the Bollinger Bands relative to the Keltner channels, we have a Bollinger Band squeeze setting up here. Normally, you have the Bollinger Bands that trade outside the Keltner channels in yellow. The Bollinger Bands are in red. So when you get this consolidation, meaning Bollinger Bands, tight neck inside the Keltner channels, it means that you're going to get a punishing move to the upside or to the downside. The question is, in which direction? Right now, the moving averages are stacked positive, meaning the shorter term moving averages are above the longer term moving averages, and the share price is above those moving averages. So the probability is very, very strong that this gets resolved up. Volume last week, actually for the past 2 weeks, awesome. Daily view. Again, Keltner channels inside the Bollinger Bands. This is what attracted us to this stock. We screened for it here using this scan, and I will share it with you once you become a member, and it'll bring up all of the stocks that have this current situation setting up as potential buy opportunities or short opportunities. So Scott's Miracle-Gro, we remain very, very bullish, and we want to accumulate members. Again, price target, stop point, and entry points listed in the members area under watch list and in Slack forum for the chart showing those support and resistance levels and price target levels. Okay, so moving on now to Texas Roadhouse, TXRH, the symbol. I spoke about this chart last week, and I was concerned about the overhead supply. Let me show that. We're going to use the automated trend lines here. Weekly, click of a button, boom. You can see we have overhead supply, and you may be saying, wait a minute, we're at all-time record highs. How they arrive at these quote-unquote resistance levels is they're extrapolating resistance levels from back here. Okay, so they're connecting the dots, the algorithm's connecting the dots from prior peaks and extrapolating it out. And you can see that we backed off of this resistance level, even though we're at all-time highs on Texas Roadhouse. That's just the way it is. So this is valuable data that you get with TrendSpider. Now, we traded, or closed, I should say, down last week on volume. The however is that they reported earnings, and earnings were very good. Here you can see revenues. They've continued to rise. So I do think that this will get resolved to the upside. Now, I can't ignore the overhead supply. Again, that's not appropriate, really. I should say technical resistance above, because there is no real overhead supply above. Very limited. Once we either begin to break out, or if their forward-looking guidance is not what the street was expecting, and we fail and we break down, well then, once we break support, we will enter the position short, and vice versa. If we break out, we will enter the position long. Now, why do we like this stock? The reason is, as it was with SMG, we have a Bollinger Band squeeze setting up here. So here are our Bollinger Bands, here are our Keltner channels, and we need to go to the daily chart, and you can see this is a very, very tight Bollinger Band squeeze setting up here. Now, not much happened on earnings. They tried to break it out. It was rejected. There was no real technical damage done, so it's still interesting to us. And here, members, is the chart referencing our support, resistance, and entry points in the Slack forum. And of course, under the watch list, you'll have a screen that you can do a print screen of and save it to your desktop if you'd like to reference our support, resistance, and price targets. Now, a new name to our watch list is Eastman Chemical Company. Here's the weekly chart. Why do we like it? Simple. Bullish key reversal bar last week on volume. So the shares are under accumulation. And if you're new to technical analysis, you don't know what a bullish key reversal bar, down below my 5-part tutorial, my top 5 favorite candlestick patterns free. A bullish key reversal bar is one of those candlesticks. Now, looking at the chart using the automated trend lines weekly time frame again, you can see that we reversed off of the lower band of support. So we're in an ascending wedge formation on a weekly time frame on Eastman Chemical. So it looks as though the path of least resistance remains to the upside. Now, another way of looking at this chart is the way we looked at Texas Roadhouse, Scott's Miracle Grow, and that is looking at it through the lens of a Bollinger Band squeeze, which is setting up very, very nicely. Again, the Bollinger Bands are trading within the Keltner channels, and they are tightening up, setting the stage for a massive move in one direction or the other. And the good part about Eastman Kodak is that this setup can also be found on a daily chart. So you have 2 time frames, daily chart, weekly chart, with a Bollinger Band squeeze setting up. Now, when we throw the heat map on, it's just illustrating that we have overhead supply above. And then when we add the daily support and resistance levels, again, you could see that we have resistance immediately above. So the price target for entry that I've added to the watch list in the members area takes into consideration the fact that we have resistance above. I'd like to see a bit of a pullback here on Eastman, maybe a day or two of consolidating above this now support level in green. And then we could build a position in Eastman. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, we always want to add once our initial hypothesis is validated, meaning we expected the stock to move higher. We executed with a 50 share lot. Once that turns positive, we're making money. Then we add more as we begin to break out. So again, members, Eastman right here for your reference. Now, the next one that we're looking at is the Chef's Warehouse. I've never heard of this company. It appeared on our watch list. Make this less noisy. We can always throw these back on. And you can see, this is a daily chart. You could see that we were in a very, very tight Bollinger Band squeeze, and it's already fired off. The however is, I think that there's more upside to be had here. Now, on a weekly chart last week, the only concern I have is that we did not put in a new weekly higher high. So the question then becomes, are we stalling here a bit? Now, sticking with the weekly chart for a moment, we need to ask ourselves the question, do we have resistance above? And all we need to do using TrendSpider is click a button. And you could see that we literally have resistance immediately above. So we're not going to be buying this stock unless we get a real nice pullback and reversal bar on Monday. This is just going to be watched. There's no reason to go running in here and buying the stock unless, of course, it gaps up. Then we'll look for a pullback, and a retest of what was resistance should now act as support. Now, I want you to take notice of something else here. On this weekly chart, I'm able to overlay monthly or quarterly or yearly support and resistance levels. So let's look and see whether or not we have support below or resistance above on a monthly time frame. However, we're still on a weekly chart. The monthly support and resistance levels will appear as a dashed line. And here you have it. So you can see that we consolidated along monthly support for several months. And then as the Bollinger Bands tightened up, the shares just exploded. Moving on to a daily chart, and you can see again, beautiful, beautiful Bollinger Band squeeze, which fired off. Its overlay weekly. It changes from monthly resistance and support to weekly support and resistance. There's that overhead supply on a weekly time frame. Here's some real serious support below. And here you have a key support level. So I put into the members area where I believe that we should be entering this position. and of course where our price target is and our stop loss point is. And that's it for this week, folks. We had a really, really good week last week. We booked profits on some shorts of the triple Qs, and we will be expecting a rally in the triple Qs. We're going to be talking about this more tonight on Sunday Night Futures Live, so please join us there, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget, TrendSpider discount code below, 35% off if you're watching us on YouTube, above if you're watching us on Twitter. And of course, again, I give it away free to our silver and gold level members. You get a 14-day free trial. I hope to see you on the other side and have a profitable trading week. I'll talk to you soon. Be well.